Hi, Sam. Hi. 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 I hope you're doing okay, Sam. Editing this and taking your sweet time.
If you make a mistake, figure out why you made it. Don't do it again.
For me, I won, and for him, he finished second. So he said he'll remember that.
So, yeah, going next races now. Yeah, we know what we can do with them.
We don't want to talk about Atlanta.
But you know what? People like to open their fat mouths sometimes when it doesn't even involve them.
That was all going pretty well until I was punted into turn one.
And all these drivers, that made it into the playoffs, 16 of them all making it in, some based off of wins, some based off of just pointing their way in. And those 16 drivers, you see one of them on screen, the driver with the most points, Mark Whitley, into the playoffs. Then you got Nick Crawford, then John Forbes, Trenton Jump, Ethan Smith, Cody Reed, Logan Brakey, Danny Cochran, Noah Steele, as well as Ollie Fonseca, GT Rosari, Dakota Moniz, Joshua Kanata, going to be one of our two rookies that have made it into the playoffs, as well as Tyler Dangler. Then the two drivers that made it in based off tonight, Christopher Norris, and the second of our rookies, Matt Upbrook, the 16 drivers that will race next week.
All right, try to make this a little shorter for you this time, Sam. My name is Ollie Fonseca. I drive the number 24 Hot Laps Designs Chevy Silverado for Team Larson Line Racing.
I am Cody Reed, driver of the number 25 for Blackjack Racing.
Hi, my name is Nick Crawford. I drive the number 74 Champion Ford F-150.
My name is Mark Whitley, driver of the number 77 Harpoon Design Chevrolet.
I'm Josh Kanata, driver number 16, case-made Toyota Tundra for Revline Racing.
My name is Christopher Norris. I drive the number 38 Ford F-150 for Snowy Desert Racing.
I'm Logan Brakey, driver of the number 29 Ford F-150 for Armadillo Motorsports.
I'm John Forbes, driver of the number 11 Chevrolet Silverado for Blackjack Racing.
Name's Ethan Smith, driver of the 00 Blackjack Racing team.
So first off, we have, how do you prepare for Daytona Road Course? Well, of course, since it's a road course, it's just a lot of practice. Practice.
Just run as many laps as I could, especially the road courses. The only way you're going to be competitive is if you just log down lap after lap after lap. It's all about repetition. If you make a mistake, figure out why you made it. Don't do it again. Keep on logging laps.
Just preparing yourself, trying to find that right consistency to making sure that you're fast and you can keep fast moving on into that long run.
ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, the playoffs begin, the drivers are rolling, and we're about to get ourselves set up. The round of 16 start out here at Daytona Road. It's the Battle of the Beach 142, as the drivers up front, going to be Trenton Jump, Cody Reed, Danny Cochran.
So, starting out the race, I started in second on the front row. Pretty excited about that. I don't usually start up front. If I do, I'm maybe fifth or something if I have a good qualifying run. So second was pretty big. So I was pretty excited. I thought, okay, well maybe, this could be a top 3 day. Maybe I can win a race. And that did not happen. And I could tell how the day was going to go as soon as I entered turn 1 because I messed it up immediately and dropped 5 spots coming out of turn 1.
It is getting real crazy, Sam, as they head through those S's down into the hard braking zone of this right-hander here for turn number 2. And this is a place where you can set up some passes.
My goal going into it, I think, is just to stay on the track and not hit the turtles. Of course, the issue was that lap 2, I hit a turtle and killed my truck and then blew my engine. I didn't have a very good race, to be honest with you. I was in a battle for, I don't know, it was probably about 4 of us. Someone had messed up out of the chicane, and I got a little bit too aggressive. And then I hit the turtle at the NASCAR chicane, which I hate the NASCAR chicane. It shouldn't be there. It slowed me way down, damaged probably everything, and then eventually I blew my motor with, 9 to go, 8 to go or something, and dug myself quite the hole.
For some reason, turn 6, or whatever corner it is that you're coming out of the infield back onto what would be NASCAR turn 1, just up onto the banking, it baffled me because I hadn't made a mistake there the entire time that week I practiced. Went to hit the brakes, just wouldn't turn, just locked him up.
98 there without it.
Ollie
Fonseca. Man.
Ollie Fonseca, major issues as he was trying to get on the brakes, and he has made contact with the tire barrier.
And on the broadcast, I'm sure it looked like, it was quite an impact, but from the cockpit, it really wasn't that bad. I just gave it a little kiss, threw it in reverse. Took me about another lap to really get back in my groove. I was kind of all over the place, just frustration kicking in.
As well as the other rookie racing in the playoffs, Matt Upbrook, 7th place for the 15. This is incredible to see from Matt Upbrook, who's probably one of the bigger underdogs.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Sam. Him being an underdog for sure. I mean, if you'd looked at the list and just had to say which drivers were going to get eliminated, Matt Upbrook was actually one of the drivers I kind of had on my list to get eliminated. Unfortunately, just didn't see the speed from him this season. Has had a few hiccups here and there, but tonight he's done great to start off this race in 7th.
And I ran around 10th kind of for the first few laps of the race, and then I had some mishaps with the turtles. The first time I did it, it was fine. Nothing happened. I just lost a lot of time. I think I lost a couple positions. I was getting pretty upset because I know that I was good enough to be up front, and that was not happening. But then I hit the turtle once again, which kind of destroyed the underside of my truck. That kind of just destroyed my RPM. I was pretty low in power. I lost a ton of position, so I went on pit road.
Turning one stop and taking it back into pit road is the 25.
Like 3 minutes of optional damages, which was definitely going to hinder my speed. Luckily, I got all that repaired, got back on track.
As another report from the 25, Cody Reed is back out on track as Christopher Norris trying to close in on that lost time that he gave up at turn 1. But there's the 25, Zach, on track. Now we got to see in the next couple of laps, what does the 25 have on pace? As he is currently 2 laps down. The only way he's going to be gaining positions if he sees other drivers have terminal damage.
The goal going into Daytona was just to finish inside the top 10, keep all 4 tires under it, and try and stay as incident free as possible. I'm actually shocked at how resilient we needed to be. Like the attrition level was so high. Guys were hitting the turtle curbs and blowing engines, running out of fuel. I didn't think it was going to be that resilient of a race.
Right here, they're side by side heading down the long back straightaway, heading towards the bus stop chicane where
Zach,
Breaky's been breaking.
Slow car, John Forbes, issues coming out of that at turn 6 onto the oval, blown engine for the 11.
Oh no, and at the wrong time too. Didn't even get the stage points, the lap of the stage.
Started off pretty good. I was easily top 7. Thought I had potential to get into the top 5 at the end of that. I was just looking forward to a good smooth race there. But unfortunately, money shifted going back onto the NASCAR oval. For those of you who don't know, that is when you shift from a gear that when you want to go higher, you go lower. So I went from 2 to 1 instead of 2 to 3. That ended up blowing up the engine, ending my night.
Update for Blackjack Racing. Cody Reed have come to pit road for major damage. John Forbes is still in pit road with the expired engine. Ethan Smith, when we were talking about the different strategies going on, 0-0, self-spinning. Zach, it has been a bad day for a team that we've seen be so consistent this season.
Blackjack just didn't play their cards right today, I guess. No pun intended.
Fun once, which is nice because usually when I usually spin once or twice, two more times or so. I always throw it somehow sometimes, but I was able to manage it.
Nick Crawford still in pit road. Nick Crawford manually disconnects. The 74 is done.
Oh no, that is not good for the 74 team. I mean, he luckily got those stage points that will help him, and the gap he had coming in tonight was pretty decent. But man, that is playoff implications, as they would say.
A recap of my race at Daytona Road Course. Did not go as expected from, I guess, my expectations from a day before. We had some stuff go on here at home, and then that on top of just really bad migraine. I just held on until I could get stage points. When I get migraines, it upsets my stomach and makes me want to puke. So I just held on, and once I got stage points, I went a few extra laps to see if I could lead a lap, but other people stayed out, so I couldn't. And then I just pit and closed iRacing and just went back and relaxed.
And for Cody Reed, who was one of the very first of those that have mistakes. I mean, Zach, sometimes it is have the mistakes early so you can recover at the end. And right now, the 25 could potentially be gaining another position to get a top 20 out of a race that maybe he should have finished in 25th position.
But 19th was not a great run. I was pretty upset with that, especially I was really looking forward to that race. It always really seems like the races I look forward to most are the ones that usually go to crap. Watkins Glen Season 3 comes to mind immediately. Gateway Season 3 comes to mind. It's always the tracks that I'm, really confident in. I really want to have a good run in. Those are the ones that I always do something stupid.
Unfortunately, towards the end of the race, the worst part of it probably was the very end of the race. I was ended up racing Malik, Ale Fonseca, and Dakota Moniz. I feel like I could have passed him, but I had stage points over him. I did pretty well, I think, so I didn't really want to push the issue. I got to respect, all three of them for driving cleanly, not wrecking or making stupid moves.
And the Battle of the Beach really wasn't much of a battle for the lead. Give it to the 46. Trent Jump locked into the plat of the round of 12, winning here tonight. And now we go back to some of the other racing action because Zach, the battle for that is for 7th, 8th, 9th. It's still on. More drivers spinning around. There goes Malik Coates, but he holds on for 10th for now. Woo, boys, it's still getting raced again by lap traffic.
I got to respect their, Malik's, who's even not in the playoffs. I got to respect his right to, race. So I could have pushed the issue. I did once, and it caused us both to get a little damage. We talked about it, and we're cool. No issues. He's racing. I'm racing for the playoff spots. So, I just wanted to kind of get a good point where I can sit and go into Miami and not be worried. The goal was just to get a top 10. And at the end of the race, that's what I got. So I was pretty excited about that. I just wanted to do better than half the field.
This 46 able to get to victory lane. Trenton Jump. Danny Cochran going to get 2nd. Mark Whitley 3rd. Christopher Norris 4th with that. Matt Upbrook 5th. What a finish for the 15. His best finish of his ISRC career. And what a time to finally do it. For the 15, Ollie Fonseca 6th, 7th goes to that of Dakota Moniz, Logan Breaky 8th, 9th is Ethan Smith, that of also Malik Kuntz. We got to talk to finishing out our top 10.
Great top 10 there for drivers, but some tough endings to that night here for a few. I mean, GT, he ended up in the Barry. Luckily, he comes home 11th. But as you as we went farther through the list, it's guys like Cody Reed in 19th, Noah Still in 21st, Nick Crawford in 24th and 22nd for John Forbes. Some playoff guys, Sam, that are going to be having some long nights here coming up through this next Monday when we come back to Homestead because, man, it's just you got to feel for them because they had such good runs going for a majority of them, but then it just all went up in smoke. It didn't matter what it was, but it ended up ending a lot of guys' nights, and now they got to go to Homestead on the back.
Tonight has given us one absolute, and that is the fact that we know the 46 is racing in the round of 12 in 2 weeks. But all the other positions, 11 more spots to be grabbed. All of the answers on who's in, who's out next week at Homestead.
And I really put myself in a hole for Homestead. I'm right on the cut line. I've had my good runs at Homestead, but I'm not great there, so I'm not super confident. I put in some practice laps already. I was running practice laps with Danny and Ethan and all those guys. I have some speed, so it should be okay, hopefully.
And I'm not really worried. I love Miami now. Season 2, I hated it. I didn't know how to drive it, but now I'm pretty comfortable with Miami, and I'm looking forward to it. It was a track that I didn't do well at Season 2, but the season after, the beginning of Season 3, I think I did pretty well. I mean, I got 3rd. I'm hoping for an even better finish tonight. Still looking for the first win of the season. First time that I haven't won in a regular season, so, that's just how it is.
Going into the next round, just kind of thinking about it, I'm going to have to win Homestead, and it's not one of the better tracks. I don't really know how it's going to go. I'm proud to make it this far as much as I would love to keep it going. We'll just see what happens. I don't know. I'm the unlucky duckling for a reason, so just see what happens.
This playoff schedule, I 100% feel confident that I can make it to the Final Four. 3 out of the last 4 tracks on this playoff schedule I've won, and I've always done well at. So I'm very confident that I can get there, and I feel like this may be my season. I'm hoping, trying to respect everybody's right to race and try to be faster than everybody else and just make, good calls, good pit entries, and, just hoping for the best.
I was surprised at how far I did not fall down the standings. I thought it would be a lot farther, but we're doing okay. I think we've got a good cushion going into Homestead, and I don't know what it is about Homestead, but I think we'll be okay.
Just a few hours before our Homestead race here when I'm shooting this. Personally, one of the biggest races in my ISRC career, I guess. After last season, missing the round of 12 on a points technicality, I'm still not quite over it. And I might get over it if I make the round of 12 tonight. So, I've been practicing and doing what I can here, and 10 points to the good at Homestead is a lot better of a situation than being 1 point to the good going into Talladega like last season. I'm a lot more comfortable, I'm a lot more competitive, and we'll see how it goes.
Right now, we've got that of 6 drivers that are very close to one another in points. That's going to be tied for 11th place. Dakota Moniz and Cody Reed. That's where our cutoff point is, with a 7-point advantage over GT Irizarry, 13th in points. Tied with 14th, going to be Tyler Dengler and Noah Steele, and that of Joshua Kanata, 16 points out to Cody Reed and Dakota Moniz. But mentality-wise, feels like he's in a must-win scenario coming into tonight, where we have got 16 drivers that are in the playoffs currently, but 26 going to be racing here tonight. Plenty of points to be grabbed.
After Daytona, I knew I was going to have to win, or at least finish second, get a lot of stage points, and hope for some other things to happen. But I knew I was going to have to be aggressive on the track and the pits, which is not really something I'm used to doing. I usually kind of let the race come to me, but I knew I had to win.
Preparing for Homestead wasn't exactly anything special. If it was going to be anything like last season, there was going to be a wreck, maybe 2, and then a long run.
Yeah, going into Homestead, it was just about having a decent run. I mean, I had a good point advantage even after the mishaps at Daytona. In previous seasons, I've had speed, just I've never been able to show it there, just by getting taken out by unfortunate things.
It went good, not at the beginning. We qualified second, and then I don't know what it was, but there was something wrong with turn 1 and 2. On the pace lap, Mark spun out.
And Smith's going to be 4th in points with an 18-point advantage. And other drivers, and oh my goodness, Zach, trouble already. Danny Cochran, Mark Whitley, already carnage.
Oh no, this is a wreck in the middle of turn 1 and 2. And those are the 2 drivers that didn't really have too many worries coming tonight, except for Danny Cochran, who's close to it, Sam. And right now, Mark Whitley, a good bit of damage, and same for Danny Cochran on the nose.
Race started off pretty good. Got through the first incident on the first lap, and when it felt like there was oil down in 1 and 2, it was terrible. I think the whole field almost spun.
Pace car is off into the Geico restart zone as we are green for the pretty Southern colors, 225.
And then on the green flag, going into turn 1, I turned and it just spun out. I wasn't doing anything weird, anything crazy. Everybody else didn't have any issues, but I hit some oil or something.
Turn 1 and 2 wall there, sliding back down in front of the track as Martin Morales barely scaves by him. But what an opening sequence we just had here at Homestead.
Can we make it a lap? Let's find out as we're heading down into turn number 1. And Danny Cochran already ducking down low, trying to set up for the entry of turn number 1. Rest of the field, where will they be as they enter now the center of 1 and 2?
We're going to have some people as we got a caution.
And it's going to be further in the back. Austin Halsey in the 99 colorful machine. Going to be bringing out this wreck. And Zach, you're talking on that point of the fuel run. This is going to be right in that fuel run window they're looking for.
This right here will open that door up, Sam. I tell you, we may see some drivers be takers when it comes to pit road.
After lap 1, we had a caution lap 15, which, unlike about 6 to 7 others, we opted to pit. The tires were great. There was no point in taking them. I believe about 5 or so people did, including Mark Whitley.
Did a little risky strategy. Caution coming, I think it was like 15 or 20. Pretty early to take tires, and I just kind of gambled and figured, it had been enough laps where it mattered, and I was kind of banking on it going green, and we took tires, we kind of went through the field, and then drove away, and it stayed green, and it just worked out in favor.
6 of Justin Smith trying to hold on, and oh no, it's going to be Joshua Kanata, and it looks to be the 72 of Jonathan Smith getting into one another. Kanata could not afford that incident.
That was all going pretty well until I was punted into turn 1. I hit the wall, knocked the steering out of alignment a little bit, and then we got together again down the backstretch because I wasn't paying attention, and I was trying to check my damage. So I'm in the VR, I can kind of look around and check things out, and got together, collected a few more trucks, and that made it worse. Some people say it was intentional. They can believe what they want to believe. The result's the same. I'm eliminated.
stack up that I think was just meant to be a door rub and let him know he wasn't happy. It turns out to be a giant wreck here.
Ooh, survives, settles down, and Mark Whitley 11 seconds ahead of that madness. You can take a breath. But how will this next restart be as drivers now get to test what new rubber is like? And for Mark Whitley, Dakota Moniz, they are only going to have 2 sets of tires to work with from here on out. Stage is done. It's all about winning and where you're at as they're into that of the Geico restart zone. Let's see how the rest of that of the pretty Southern Colors 225 ends up as Mark Whitley taking off into turn number 1. Spotter, and I feel like as a spotter, you can tell Ollie, hey, you're good. You are ahead of the driver that you need to be ahead of. That is Noah Steele. Caution flag comes out though. It's Justin Smith in the 6. And the yellow flag is gonna change everything here tonight.
Things didn't go my way. There's a caution, and it was a car right in front of us, car all by himself. He got loose, smacked the wall, and spun out. And he was on the apron, but iRacing decides to throw yellows when it wants to, not when you need it. That was a yellow, and that one, I think it was like 20 or something laps left, so there was still time.
The best part, I mean, I got up to second on a restart. Unfortunately, I got loose in the middle of the corner. Ended up going 4 wide in turn 3, so I just backed out. I knew I was in a good spot. I had good stage points. I didn't need to push it. Everyone else that was around me or behind me was further behind me on stage points. So I wasn't worried about it.
But it's Mark Whitley, Nick Crawford keeping it close with one another. But the swappage of drivers trying to see where they want to be for 4th on back. They are keeping it mixy as Nick Crawford throws it out on the outside, trying to find some momentum to catch up to Mark Whitley because the 77 is gone.
Around Cochran, and he's going to have a heck of a run.
Caution! Martin Morales spun out on the front stretch. We get another try at this.
But then another caution came out, and at that point, if you're the leader, you kind of just have the win, because you can go whenever you want, you can get a huge jump, and you can line people up where you want to line them up behind you by choosing outside or inside.
And it was just about, trying to control the race, and we got a late, I was like, I don't know if it's green, white, checkered, it was like 5, real short run at the end. We just drove the wheels off of it.
Mark Whitley, Nick Crawford, they've been the top 2 up front since the halfway marker. Can they continue on this run? Who's gonna get the glory into the Geico restart zone? We're green for the pretty Southern Colors 225, and Mark Whitley once again is gone.
Then after that, Ollie and everybody, Ollie was just crazy. He was just making cool moves, and then I wanted to finish second because I wanted an interview, a guaranteed interview, so I sent it in deep and just gave him a little tap, but he held on to it. He's really good at saving cars, so there was no fear there. And then the only thing I thought was he gonna come down in the straightaway and just take me out, but he was a real good sport about it. He thought that I owed him one, but I didn't feel that way.
Well, this was actually probably about my best finish so far at Homestead. I think the last time was maybe 11th or 12th. It was right around there. It was probably the best 1.5 mile race I've ever done, not including my win in Atlanta last year.
Here's where our top 10 are going to be. Mark Whitley taking the victory. Nick Crawford second. Ollie Fonseca third. John Forbes fourth. Danny Cochran in the 2 machine takes 5th. Christopher Norris 6th. 7th, Ethan Smith. Dakota Moniz 8th. Matt Upbrook, another top 10 for the 15 and 9th. And taking that 10th place position, Cody Reed.
Yeah, and as we look through the rest of the order here, Sam, I mean, just some tough finishes for a few guys. The one that stands out, Noah's still there in 8th and 13th. Not going to be able to make it through the play to the next round. GT Rosari, Malik Kuntz there in 12th and 14th. Those two were contenders for the possible win here tonight. They're going to finish outside the top 10 due to bad pit strategy. And as you look at the rest of them, I mean, guys like Kanata out in the race early, between him and Jonathan Smith getting into their little spat. And yeah, I mean, it just shows you got to be able to get to the end of these races if you want to have any type of shot to get to that next round.
Well, here are the 12 drivers moving on throughout the playoffs and still have a chance for the championship. Winning tonight, going to be that of Mark Whitley in the 77. In the 46, it's Trenton Jump after winning last week at the Daytona Road Course. Danny Cochran, Ethan Smith, Logan Brakey, Nick Crawford, John Forbes, Christopher Norris, Matt Upbrook, Ollie Fonseca, Dakota Moniz, and Cody Reed are the 12 drivers that will move on in the playoffs.
North Wilkesboro next week. I actually did a few race there about 2 weeks ago, and so it gives me a lot of hope. I was able to run up in the top 5 all night until an unfortunate last lap accident. So I'm just hoping I can do what I did there and put ourselves in the round of 8, which I didn't make it last season, I don't believe, but I'm just hoping we can push as far into the playoffs, and who knows, maybe we can make the Final Four with some luck, but the round of 8, that'd be pretty great.
I'm happy to make it to the round of 12. I say this every season. I expect this. I expect to make the round of 4. There's only one season that I haven't made it, and it got stolen from me, and it wasn't even my doing. I had the opportunity to get there. This season I'm going to see if I can take it and hope for the best.
It feels good to be in the round of 12. I feel confident. I feel confident in myself, and I'm excited to get to these next 2 weeks and hopefully make it through to the round of 8.
How does it feel to make the round of 12? It feels good. I'm not satisfied yet. We've made the Final Four both seasons previous, so I feel like that's where we need to be. Glad we're able to have 2 good finishes and get a win and move on to the round of 12. Just hopefully keep it up, be there for the round of I think it's the round of 8, and then finally championship 4.
It feels real good. So we just gotta focus on this round, because I think this one's gonna be the hardest one for me with these 2 types of tracks. North Wilkes, I didn't really have a great time last time. I think I came out with a 4th place finish, but that was just because all kinds of things were going crazy last season. And then Nashville, I think it's similar to how I feel about Homestead. I can do good there, but I don't like it. It's gonna be a 1-lane track. You gotta hit a specific line every time. That's just not fun to me. So if it's not fun to me, then I probably don't like it. Homestead turned out to be okay, so maybe Nashville will turn out to be better.
It's the 4 calling it a night. They will not be running for a championship anymore. If they do run, it's going to be just for wins and pride. GT Rosari, Tyler Dangler, Noah Steele, and Joshua Kanata.
How does it feel to be out of the round of 12? Doesn't feel good. I was kind of hoping that maybe we could get through, but after Daytona, I had a feeling probably going to be the end here. I'm glad to make it this far. It just sucks going out the way we did with the DNF of Daytona and then being in the incidents at Miami. So hoping for better things next season. Best of luck to the rest of the guys that are still in, and see you on track. That's all I got. Sucked.
Tonight on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, we're proud to give you the playoff coverage for Season 4 of these truck drivers. It's the round of 12. It's our first race of 2 for this round, as it is the Old Green Garage.
I didn't really do anything before the race night, and I just kind of jumped in practice, ran some laps, get back used to the track, and I have a good feel for it, so I feel like I didn't really need to go in there and practice a bunch of laps. I know the track pretty well. We won last season there, so I felt pretty confident we'd have decent speed. Hopefully, I was just hoping we could, get a top 5 at least minimum. So I thought, it's going pretty confident already, so I didn't feel like I needed to practice too much.
I knew I didn't have speed at North Wilkes. I never really have. I don't know. I'll figure out one day, but it was just to finish top 8 realistically, and unrealistically top 3. That would be the goal. Yeah, I just don't know what it is about that track.
We're ready to get green flag racing for that of the Old Green Garage 108. Danny Cochran, John Forbes. It is the start of the playoff racing for the round of 12 as the 2 sends it down into turn number 1. At the end of the day is our first caution strikes, and it's a playoff implication, but that of Dakota Moniz caught up in this one. As well as the 38 of Christopher Norris. Norris making the outside lane work for himself as the 98 swamped by playoff drivers.
Great job out of 38 there, but the 11 of Forbes is going around here in the middle of 3 and 4, and we got another yellow, looks like Kanata involved there in the 16.
Also for that of the 11 is teammate of Ethan Smith, and the 00 caught up in with this one.
Unfortunately, 15 laps in, John Forbes got a little loose going into the corner, slid up the track where I was, and just T-boned him basically. Almost ruined the truck. Didn't get anything for stage. I was pretty worried at that point. I was like, great, I'm going to have to do good at Nashville. Which I knew I would do good, but I didn't want to have to be in an almost must-win situation.
He's in an upswing for the 15 and doing a great job. We got a wreck up in front of him as Ryan Crowfoot's around here. The caution's out.
Swapping positions up front, 2 of the fastest drivers of the night. Danny Cochran, Mark Whitley, both into pit road for tires and fuel, as well as having Logan Brakey, Dakota Moniz, Josh Kanata, and others into pit road.
It can work, and if you're just patient and make sure you don't, we got a caution.
I could tell the field was being a little antsy. It was just a feeling in the back of your head that something was about to happen. And sure enough, off of turn 2, I think down the back straightaway, I saw up, right in front of Danny. They got in together, and I think somebody got put in the wall. And as soon as I saw that, I pulled it left.
Point mattered just to get to this point, get through the round of 16. And you're seeing it now as, oh no, it's Matt Upbrook. Hard contact for the 15 machine. Another contact and wreck as more drivers piling in.
It is a race car graveyard here in turn number 3, folks.
But up front, it is constant action, and there's the yellow, and that's the stage break. And with that, we'll move down to Christopher Norris, who should be moving up to 4th place, who was our stage winner at the time. Stage winner, how does that feel, taking those maximum bonus points from the stage, as we still got a lot of racing here at North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, indeed, a lot of racing to go, but it's going to help me out a lot. Just hopefully it sets us in the right direction for the end of the race. A little bit scared right now because I have Jesse Thornock and Ethan stayed out on old tires. But hopefully we just get back in the lead and continue to lead the laps.
Luckily, we got a caution right before the end of the stage and got a good restart, and we got some good stage points, and came down for the caution for the stage, and I decided to take a gamble and take right sides only, try to get the track position back. And after that, we just were able to stay up front.
As the pace car pulls off, the old Green Garage 108 is back underway. With that, I've seen the 20 machine, the 00, and Mark Whitley. How patient will he be as we go into turns 1 and 2?
There's a major wreck in the 1 here, and look at this pile up here.
That is not good at all, as everyone piling in. Matt Upbrook involved in this, one of the playoff crew.
Pouncing right now is old Nick Crawford. A big moment as they're wrecking farther behind.
Oh, and it's going to be John Forbes, Ollie Fonseca. Hard contact for the both of them. Looks like Mark Morales also got a glimpse of that carnage.
And right here, Mark Whitley fighting to the outside. And with him also, he's going to bring the 98 of Malik Kuntz. As now it's going to be Christopher Norris stacked up behind him with Trenton jumping the 46. And if Tony's loose here, he's going to stack up that inside more. There, the 98 of Malik Kuntz is now the 20 going to slide up in front of the 38. And now that's going to open up the opportunity for the 46 to go
Malik!
through.
Contact overcorrects up into the wall, and Christopher Norris gets hard contact, as well as others. Malik tapping a couple of more as the 98's bad luck strikes.
The 38's the one that got the worst ordeal there, is because he's got a destroyed nose, and he's a playoff contender after having a good win in the stage earlier. This is not what the 38 team wants.
Besides that, for Logan Breakey and Dakota Moniz, as yellow flag will wave, and it's the 6 of Justin Smith spun around, as this is less than 20 to go, and we're going to be down to around 15, maybe less than that once we go back to green flag action. One small mistake will send us into overtime. Otherwise, Mark Whitley looks settled in to be locked in for the Elite 8. For once again a 3rd season for himself. Danny Cochran holding off contact for Ethan Smith. Door banging the 53 to the outside. Same spot that Ethan Smith saw himself get disqualified last season. A chance for himself, and oh boy, more contact. Eric Stamp giving contact to Ethan Smith. Oh, and the drama for the 00 does not go away here in North Wilkesboro.
No, it does not. It always seems like it's around this 00 team. They're getting caught up in something.
And all the time up front, he is going for another win and another back-to-back this season. Mark Whitley, first driver into the lead 8 for the 77.
Toward the end of the race, we got those late restarts. I was able to get a good jump and just kind of pull away and get a win. A lot less stressful than last season with late race restart. I think about gave it away last season on spinning the tires on the restart, but it worked out this season. Clinches our spot for the next round already. That takes a huge burden off our shoulders. So hopefully we can keep the momentum rolling into Nashville.
Now let's take a look at where the unofficial results are for tonight's Old Green Garage 108 at North Wilkesboro. You can see it on screen. Drivers certainly had eventful days. Free Lane and with the first place finish and locking himself to run into the next round, with Trenton Jump in second, Ollie Fonseca third, Nick Crawford fourth, fifth goes to Danny Cochran, Mark Morales gets sixth, Cody Reed seventh, eighth goes to Ethan Smith, Eric Stamp ninth, and Christopher Norris finishing out our top 10.
Well, man, I mean, you look at some of the rest of this order. 11th there for Matt Upbrook. That's a great recovery for him, who had tons of damage early in the race. So he brings it home at 11th. Good run for him to at least, not make that gap too much. And John Ford was back in 14th, another playoff driver. And, tough nights for a few out there, but it's still, is one of those short track races that it ends up having its ebbs and flows of yellows and greens that just seem to mesh together.
Was in a decent spot. I think we were running 11th on the white flag, and then got dumped in turn 3 and finished 13th. That really put a wrench in things. And now we're in a tight spot going into Nashville. So
I don't really remember it, so I think that's either a good thing or a bad thing. But I got a pretty good finish, got pretty good stage points, and then my teammate as well. So I think it was a pretty decent race overall. I knew I wasn't really going to be in contention for the win, especially early on. So it was just to survive and get to Nashville, I guess. Nashville. A goal is kind of similar to North Wilkes. It's just finish top 8. At that point, if I finish top 8, I think I'm pretty good, as long as I get some stage points.
Wanted to focus on qualifying. I knew how the track ran. I knew how the tires fell off there. It's a track I won before, and I knew it was a track that I needed to do the same thing I did last time.
I just did a lot of by myself practice, which I usually don't do a whole lot, but with everything on the line, I just wanted to make sure just wasn't going to make any self mistakes, like hitting the wall out of 4. That was a big problem, and just wanted to know all the spots on the track where you get loose.
Tonight, it's more playoff action as the round of 12 has their cutoff race. Who's in, who's out? But it's time for the cutoff race to begin. Pace car is up for the ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. The round of 12, it's time for it to conclude as the green flag is out for the Music City Rumble 200 here tonight. One fell back from second all the way down to 5th place, and there's already a caution. Driver involved with a wreck, and it's the 24 of Oli Fonseca.
I don't think Nick Crawford will have enough time here to get it done, but man, he's come within a shot of this 77, and I think it's got to definitely strike some fear in that.
Great jump! Got tapped by Tyler Horn. Back in 3rd place. The 46 holds on for now, as there was almost complete carnage for the 46. What a save, as Jonathan Smith is trying to block and hold off the 16 and almost gets into John Forbes.
John Forbes needs these points. It's so valuable for him. He's going to hold on to 4th here, but man, Sam, that could have turned everything upside down on its head, and just lap cars right there in the mix with a mistake, and Trent Jump almost bites the dust.
Woo, and good thing the caution came out that it did, as that is your stage break for these drivers. Woo, was that a scary one? But they hold on for now as Mark Whitley becomes your stage winner here tonight.
And for the stage, besides the early incident with Ollie, it did go green the whole way. I almost would have been able to get to Mark, but I was running very low on fuel and had to make sure I was going to make it around pit road, because stage points are nice, but if you run out of fuel on the cool down lap of the stage, it's not really going to be that beneficial.
Seika, who dealt with the lap 1 wreck that he was involved with, as drivers getting a little bit of a scare for the 2, who once again, Zach, here tonight, he is hard blocking Noah Steele, and this is odd to see from the 2, because right now he needs to set up for the long run instead of fighting for these positions.
So he should have a good bit more speed, but battling here with Steele like this, a playoff contender, this could shake things up. So it's gonna be tough here. We'll see if Danny can hold on, but right now these two are just going at it. They got Logan Brakey coming into the picture now, who wants to steal points from him.
And Logan Brakey, teammates of the 8. This has got to be a little bit scary to see his teammate fighting this hard with last season's champion, but Noah Steele's racing for nothing. Danny, though, everything is putting pressure in this race as Noah Steele gets by, setting up Logan Brakey now as Noah Steele might hit the brakes. He's completely boxed in by Armadillo Racing.
To a position above those drivers, and I mean, this just opens up the doors, but there's contact there to 20 and the 8. They get into it, and now
it's right back at it. Round 2. Noah Steele, Danny Cochran. Will there be any aggression here? Will the HS lay on over? As it seems like he's willing to fight for this position still. Danny gonna give the bumper, give it the contact, moving the 8 right in front of that of Dakota Moniz. And Danny giving no care, no worries. And Noah Steele, Gotti Smith, hard contact as the 7 absolutely sends it in there.
Well, playoff drama, here it is, folks. It is here to stay. And
again, keep our cameras on the 8, and he is heading into pit road, which he's going to sit right on Danny. And will he wait for the 2 to exit? That's going to be the big thing here, Zach, as the 2 takes off, and he's following in tracks. Danny is not safe, as Noah Steele wants his payback.
oh man, this might get ugly here. This might get ugly, and we might see a ISRC moment for the long run right here, Sam. Is they're building tensions, and here it comes. It's going to happen.
And now to Danny Cochran, trying to keep himself out of trouble. Austin Halsey trying to be a little bit of a buffer, but we'll see what Noah Steele's going to do here. Again, he has to go to pit road. And Noah has been asked by the admins not to play any more of these games. And he will most likely be heading to pit road, but he's mad, he's frustrated, and I mean, Zach, rightfully so. Yes, they were running aggressive with one another, but there's moving someone and then just wrecking them out of the race, and that's exactly what happened to the 8. This is in that Blackjack Racing sandwich that is always fearful if you're the 38 or anyone else that was part of that Snowy Desert Racing team in the past. As drivers wrecking behind, a hard blow. Danny Cochran involved as Joshua Freed and others in the back half of the field caught up in this one.
Big wreck there right in the middle starting of the field, and Freed the first one to go around the 39. I think him and Ferraro got into it, and Danny Cochran know where to go for that driver, and that right there may seal the deal for our reigning champion, that he may not be moving on to the round of 8.
Lone engine, he is done and toasted. Some might say a little bit of karma, some might say unfortunate.
Then we came up with about 60 to go, and there was a caution, and it was close. It was to the point where maybe you could make it if you didn't pit, but I was going to pit either way. I told Norris, I was like, I'm pitting either way. And then I took right side tires, and to my surprise, the top 3 stayed out, and I don't know if they were hoping for cautions or if they thought they could make it or what, but for me, when I was downshifting, there was no way I was going to make that.
Should be all right to stay in for a fight for a win for the championship. And why not fight for the win as Nick Crawford to the inside, trying to make the pass on Mark Whitley. And for the first time tonight, someone else is going to be leading a lap here.
Clean air going to be nice for the 74. And also another thing, if we can get the win, those bonus points will be so helpful.
At this point, usually about 15 laps into the run, I would start shifting down to third in each turn, and I couldn't do that because it used too much fuel. So I had to just run in fourth the whole time, and whenever John would catch up to me, I had to start shifting just to make sure that he would go away. But then there was one corner where I didn't shift, and he was just close enough to get under me, and we raced side by side.
If you win, you get 5 extra bonus points to be added to your total going into next week. Hard block by the 11, defending the inside lane, recognizing how crucial it is. Nick Crawford right on the bumper, trying to put the pressure. He gets to the inside as John Forbes leans up to the outside wall. He has to let off. Nick Crawford back to the lead with 10 laps to go.
I don't know if I went into the corner intending to bump him or not, but once I got there, I think a little boop was in order, and then it just got him out of the groove, got him a real bad exit, and we snuck on past, and at that point I knew I had to get away.
A little bit of a bump there from the 74 to the back bumper of the 11 there. The 11 was washing up the track, and I think the 74 said, you know what, you're going up, you might as well go up some more because you're opening up the door for me. And now, with the contact between these two, this has opened up the door. If you're John Forbes, how rough do you play with this 74?
Me and Nick got around Whitley because they didn't pit. We had the fuel to go, and I passed him and would have had that win, but got moved. So, yeah, he said bring the rivalry on. So, yeah, it's going to be back on, I guess. I thought we were pretty clean before that, but I guess that's not what they want. So, yeah, going next races now, and we know what we can do with them.
So the move, I don't know what to think about it, because it was a good outcome for me, so the move is great. It's a bad outcome for him. Not really bad, but less than ideal for him, so it's not a good move. it's kind of just one of those, everyone's going to have a different opinion, but it's definitely a biased opinion. For me, I won, and for him, he finished second. So he said he'll remember that, but I don't know if I'm worried about that or I'm kind of just curious of what that means. So he's definitely got me thinking about it, but I don't know if I'll race him any different.
Crawford out of turn number 4. The Music City rumbles at 200. If we had our rumbles, we had our dashes, but the 74 comes in clutch, winning here tonight to advance to the Elite 8.
And man, oh man, this is set up a wild playoff run for us heading into Dover next week for the round of 8. As you see Forbes there, a little bump to the rear end, maybe saying, hey, I'll remember that one. Take us through that battle with John. I mean, he did not make it easy on you there. You actually had to use the front bumper to get back around him. And those last few laps, you had to be trying to get away as quickly as possible to make sure he couldn't get back to you.
Right there at the end, I was like, I do need to get away because I gave him a little bump. I didn't think it was too much. Maybe it looks different. Me being on West Coast, I don't know if John's on East Coast, but on my screen it was soft. But he saved it, and I knew I had to run away. Even my teammate Norris was like, yeah, you should probably get away. So at that point, I think I had saved enough fuel to start downshifting the rest of the way. So it all worked out.
Proved to be the same again this year, but yeah, I didn't really appreciate racing Nick clean for like the 5 laps before that side by side, immediately passing him and then just getting booted. So yeah, we'll see about that, but I always had good things to say about him until then.
I was expecting another late race caution. Well, I took 4 tires at the end, not 2. John ended up taking 2, so and it paid off for him. He got second. I got third, and Cody got fourth. It really was a good finish for all of us, and I was very excited for it.
Do the rundown from our top 10. That Nick Crawford, John Forbes, Ethan Smith, your top 3, with Cody Reed in 4th, GT Rosario 5th, Christopher Norris 6th, 7th goes to Malik Coots, 3 finish for the 98 for himself, Eric Stampin 8th, and 9th goes to Mark Morales Jr., and Kyle Rochelle finishing at our top 10. Here's your 8 drivers and how they're going to be lined up, taking the top spots. Going to be Mark Whitley and Nick Crawford, both getting wins in the round of 12, 5 bonus points for themselves. Joining those two, last 2 seasons ago, champion of Trenton Jump, Ollie Fonseca, first-time Elite 8 driver, first-time Elite 8 driver of Christopher Norris, and as well first-time Elite 8 driver of Cody Reed. Joining them, other drivers that have had their opportunities at the Final Four, Ethan Smith and John Forbes. We no longer have last season's champion. Danny Cochran's out. Matt Upbrook, the Cinderella story, is out. Logan Breakey is done. Dakota Moniz, done, scratched off. 8 drivers left, and it all starts next week, Dover.
And I'm happy to be making the round of 8 as a team as well. That's a first for us. Usually lately it was Cody not making it, and now this is his first time making the Elite 8, so I'm really excited for him. I'm excited for making the Elite 8. I say this every season. I expect it. I expect to make the Final Four. I expect the same thing this season, especially with the tracks that are coming. There should be no reason why I don't, unless I get taken out or something crazy again. If people race how we should be racing, then I have no problem. I don't think I have a problem making the Final Four. I will say it's going to be really tough beating some of these guys. A lot of us were fast at Charlotte. A lot of us are fast almost everywhere we go. It's tough. It's a lot of, lately, we've been keeping it green a little bit more often, so it's a little bit more strategy. But honestly, I'm just feeling the momentum pick up from here. So hopefully these next 3 races really are good for me.
And I feel pretty good about the Elite 8. Dover's going to be kind of a wild card, but Atlanta, if it's like it was last time, that track got super spread out. So just got to make through both races pretty good, or get a win. And I feel like I can confidently win at either of those places. So we'll see how it unfolds.
I'm feeling good about it. I feel like at this point it was expected with the way I was running. Our team is doing great in the playoffs right now. We're getting good finishes. We're not going crazy for wins or top 3s, but as long as we're staying in that top 12, and then now this round top 8, and then for this upcoming round it's got to be top 4s, because that's it. It's the Final Four, so we got to do real good this round. Dover may go well for us, and then feel like Atlanta 08 is going to be anybody's game. It's going to be a big wide track, and these trucks, they don't go fast enough to really need throttle control. I think it's just hitting the same line every time, and then maybe some strategy will help determine the end of the race. I think as long as we're just consistent and stay out of trouble, it'll be okay.
In the middle of the playoffs, it's the start of the round of 8. for the ISRC truck drivers. And tonight, they tackle that Miles the Monster. It's the Monster Mayhem 170 here this evening. And certainly, Mayhem is already starting to grow as playoff drivers. Majority of them are here. We're missing one, though, which is probably the most crucial driver so far. Mark Whitley, one of the most top dogs favorites to win. Well, he's not here, so he might be able to avoid those carnages, but a massive points deficit he might have if he doesn't show up in the next 8 minutes. The clock is going to be set. If he's not here by the end of qualifying, Mark Whitley will not be able to race.
How did I prepare for Dover? Kind of the same as every other race. Did a little bit of practice here and there, nothing crazy, not long sessions, but a lot of the information did come from my teammate, Christopher Norris. He's been helping a lot, especially because I can't dedicate the time to practice that I wish I could. So I really appreciate everything he does. He sends me these data sheets, and it's crazy how much you can learn in practice.
The Monster Mayhem 170 is green as the 11 John Forbes got an excellent launch down into turn number 1.
It really is. Ali Fonseca leading the way on the bottom lane. It looks like two different tails of the tape here. You got Nick Crawford and his teammate Christopher Norris in the 38 just dropping back here like a rock. And I think this may be a little bit of a strategic play when it comes to those tires.
Starting with qualifying, I think I qualified third. And that was really good because the plan was to save. So starting higher in the field was beneficial to reduce the net loss.
And you're wondering where our playoff drivers are running? Well, 7 of the 8, as Mark Whitley is not here, running in the top 8. So crucial to gain every point possible. The only driver that is in an advantage is going to be Nick Crawford after his win that he got from last round. Give him a 5-point bonus point to work with. Everyone else that's in the playoffs, John Forbes, Ollie Fonseca, Trenton Jump, that of Ethan Smith, Christopher Norris, and Cody Reed, they start out at 0. They are all tied, so every point so crucial to make sure you stay up front racing hard. As we look back here, the battle for 4th place now, as Wally Coates has been passed by Ollie Fonseca. It's Nick Crawford and the Champions Machine trying to set up how to get by the 98. Is
right away, I started giving up spots. I gave up spots to, I think, Trenton and Ollie, just because I know they can be a little bit aggressive on the early part of the run. 1, I didn't want to be in their way, and 2, I didn't want to use a bunch of tire trying to hold them off. So at that point, it was just save tire, kind of like Nashville. Save as much tire as I could so that way later on I could just go back and pass them. Which, again, hindsight is 2020, was not a good idea because I couldn't even get past one person. I think I started 3rd, dropped down to 5th, and couldn't get past Malik. He wasn't doing anything wrong, anything crazy. He was just running his line, and I couldn't even really get to his corner. The dirty air for me was really bad, and I'm usually one to say I don't really notice the dirty air, but I really did this race. It played a big role.
number 4, grabbing the white flag of the stage as lap 70 starts. Now, start to fuel save like crazy because Trenton Jump is less than a second away. That 46 is closing in. I don't think he's going to be there in time as John Forbes exited 2, looking good for himself. Top 10 drivers going to be getting themselves bonus points. Justin Smith just lost his tire for the 6th, all the way back in 20th position. But at a turn number 4, across the line, it's John Forbes. But they have to wait until 10th place crosses the line. Zach, that's an extra lap they may have to save.
Made it to stage, saving a little bit of fuel, which was expected. I know you could make it like 69, nice, to about 70 laps, but you had to also make the 2 extra laps afterwards. Once the caution is thrown, you have to come around, catch the pace car, and then you have to finish that lap. I know John didn't, I don't think he accounted for that because he was running away, and I think he ran out of fuel and just coasting, or he definitely did not save enough fuel, which is unrelated to me.
That is exactly right, Sam. 10th there, just crossing the line. Now it's Forbes wrecks.
Forbes out of the wall, out of turn number 2, wrecks it and bends in the outside wall. Oh my goodness. And that's just the most bizarre moment. He gets tapped by Trenton Jump and gets into the outside wall. Oh boy.
Oh man, guys, I tell you what, I don't know if he just threw the clutch in, Sam, there and was trying to make the fuel last, because look, he comes immediately to pit road. That is telling me fuel is the issue for that 11 machine. Oh man, that definitely caught Trenton Jump off guard. I mean, they were waiting for that 10th truck to come around before the yellow came out, and I think Forbes knew, like, man, I just am not going to make it back around. And the big thing for him, yeah, he gets involved in that incident, but he had to enter a closed pit road. He's more than likely going to get a black flag here at some point for entering that closed pit, and that 11 could be in trouble from that incident there. So going from leading this race and dominating it to now, where I don't even know where the 11 will end up after all this.
Because Trenton picked the outside, which is, real nice of him to do, because on that restart we got a really good jump and Ollie was sleeping or something. We were able to clear him on the outside.
On that bottom lane, and we just seen it. Fonseca spinning the tires and just could not get that 24 going. Luckily, like you said, it didn't end up to being what it could have looked like. It could have been worse. But right now, Nick Crawford's selling into the second position.
At that point, it was kind of hanging on to Trenton because I knew it was going to be hard to pass. At that point, I knew Dirty Air was going to make it almost impossible. Plus, he's super fast, especially early in the run, and I think he had it figured out. He knew the Dirty Air was really important, and once he got the lead from John, he just had to manage the gap because he would pull away and I'd catch back up to him. But like you guys were saying in the broadcast, once you got to like 0.5, the Dirty Air just kind of made it to where your front tires didn't exist and you had no drive off.
Let's see what the 74 does. I mean, he qualified so well up front in that third position, gave up a bunch of spots, just never got him back. Will the 74 now elect to do a little bit different? As now I can clearly say John Forbes serving the penalty as he's just coming out of his box now.
It's going to be a stop and go for the 11 machine. Going to be one lap down. Luckily, was able to drop into pit road right when the green flag started, so he was not going to lose as much ground if he came in a lap later when everyone was at full song. As really tonight, going to be a big question mark. Was Danny Cochran going to be willing to be as aggressive as he wants to be? As he is right on the bumper, gives a tap, and behind them, driver into the wall hard, it's Joshua Freed. He keeps it straight. We stay green as Danny Cochran, aggressive driving, might have spooked some of the drivers behind him.
I was assuming that everyone was going to pit halfway of the second half of the stage, and Trenton definitely surprised me when he pit even earlier. I think it was with like 52 laps to go, something like that. He was getting passed by Cody, who had fresher tires. He pit like with 60 to go, right at the open of the window for the fuel. Once he was passing us, he passed me, and then into turn 3 was passing Trenton, and then Trenton pulls down from the middle of the track to pit road, and I'm like, whoa, and yeah, I had to get on the brakes, and I lost some time there.
But right now, it looks like Trenton jumped. He waited no longer. He came to pit road from the lead position. That hands it over to Nick Crawford with Fonseca in the second position.
There was zero radio call, and there was almost collisions over front two of Nick Crawford and Trenton Jump as he was coming into pit road, and that's going to be a thing to watch out for. Drivers over the radio being clear and concise if I'm coming into pit road or not. And now we got a wide spring of drivers that are on fresh tires. Those on new is Nick Crawford braking, sliding, almost wrecking, but he came in a little hot there, Zach. I'm watching to see if he gets caught with any penalties because a speeding penalty could be a race ender as these drivers have to slow down to 35 miles per hour. And it looks like the 24 and that of the 74 are good on that entry as both of them were smoking across the line.
Plus, there's all kinds of lap cars, non-lap cars on different strategies that you had to navigate through. I don't think I was getting any favors. Like I always said, lap cars get to race, and, if you're upset, I get it too. I don't mind, doesn't bother me.
As through 3 and 4, Trenton Jump, what a season he's had. The drought of finding himself in the victory lane last season. Now looking for another win as the Lyria Productions white flag is out here at Dover. Trenton Jump, a driver that won a championship back in season 2, had so many highs, so many lows. A lot of his speed was always at the road courses. But tonight, give him an opportunity. He won back at Darlington, and tonight he will find himself winning at that of Dover. Lock him into the Final Four. Trent Jumps fight for a championship.
We were able to catch up to him within about a second, I think 7/10. But yeah, it was the same thing. I wasn't going to get past him, even with one lap fresher tires. It wasn't going to matter, and I had accepted that, and I was okay with second place. But we finished second, got some decent stage points. I think we're plus 15 on the cut line, which is great. So overall, Dover was pretty good. It's usually pretty good to me, but it can go either way depending on how cautions go. And we didn't have any cautions for cause, and that was crazy. Again, I want to say congrats to Trenton on making it to the Final Four. I know you missed out last year. Hopefully I can make it to the Final Four and we'll have a really great battle. I'm interested to see when Mark comes to Atlanta how that goes. I know he's really fast. He's really fast overall, and Atlanta's an interesting track. I finally got some time to test it out, and it may not just be a one groove track. It's going to be a lot of close quarter racing, and I think the combination of that with kind of a lazy steering wheel late in the run can cause some mayhem, and hopefully we're not in it, but knock on wood.
Tonight is the last race of the round of 8 to see the 4 drivers that will run for a championship next week at Charlotte, but it all consumes here at Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. It's the Legacy course, the 2008 configuration where it's hot, slick, and drivers are searching for any type of way to get around this track fast.
How would it feel to make the Final Four? I think it would be good. It'd be a little bit of a redemption, like the start of it from last season. Because I did make the Final Four, but for only 27 laps. It would feel nice. I don't know. I'm not letting myself really get excited just because I'm trying to stay super realistic. So cautiously optimistic.
But here's where the drivers line up for this race. Again, we got 8 drivers left in the playoffs. We started up with 16. We've divvied it down to these 8 drivers. Trenton Jump, who's already locked in. Nick Crawford comes in second in points with a 15-point buffer over Christopher Norris, who's in 5th. A third in points is going to be Ollie Fonseca with a 10-point buffer. Ethan Smith has a 5-point buffer over Christopher Norris. Now Norris, compared to himself to Ethan Smith, 5 points out from trying to get into our Final Four. Then John Forbes, 6 points out from our Final Four. Cody Reed, 8 points out, and in a must-win scenario because he missed out on last week's race, Mark Whitley in that must-win scenario. Well, this is it, your whole entire season. Who will fight for a championship next week? Tonight, it's the Legacy Atlanta 150. You've got ourselves 150 lap stage break at lap 60. No fast repairs, 4 sets of tires in pit road, as we are now green for Ollie Fonseca, Mark Whitley, roaring down into turn number 1. On this run is riding on board the 74 of Nick Crawford. Nick Crawford comes into this run 15 points above the cutoff line. 74 running in 8th place. I mean, this is already a positive run for himself, as again, Mark Whitley in a must-win scenario. Ethan Smith already inside of our front 4, same for Ollie Fonseca. So all the drivers that for Nick needs to be ahead of currently is at this moment.
Recap of my race in Atlanta. First off, I have to start off with, I was definitely under the weather. At that time, I didn't know it, but I think I had a fever, and I was not feeling great, so the goal, again, was just to finish top 10, get stage points, and not overheat in real life.
But Mark Whitley, I mean, he's doing an immense job right now to make that outside group work. He's all over Ollie Fonseca once again, kind of just pushing him into the corner, forcing him maybe to go a little bit faster than he wants to be, and that could cause a little bit more wear and tear. You can even see here from this onboard shot.
Oh, he's in the
Whitley
wall.
Up into the wall. Here's now Ethan Smith. He might have an opportunity here to jump to the outside of 77. This will be his best chance here coming off of 4 to get the job done.
He's trying to make sure he stays to the quarter panel off the exit of the corner. They're going to be side by side. There's Ollie Fonseca, and here's the battle for second. Ethan Smith going to be continue to stay to the outside lane, but Mark Whitley, he's got to be careful because staying down low this late into a run, you are basically a wounded animal just waiting to get pounced on as Ethan Smith gets a nose. Here comes John Forbes as well. It's Malik Coates setting up for this train.
It was just holding on into the stage, try to save your tires, try to find the right line to run. I think I was trying to save by running the bottom line. And I wanted to see if I could gain a little bit because it seemed like it was hard to pass for me. So I pit 1 lap before most people would have. Coming in, I thought I called it pretty late. And then Mark calls it even later and is pulling out of almost the second lane. I misses pit road. He missed that, and that pretty much started the downward spiral of his race. But that's his race, not mine.
Surface, and that is a complete just meltdown for the 77.
And Whitley has got to be kicking himself right now, knowing this could be a shot for a championship going out the window.
And teammates almost colliding with one another, everyone trying to get into pit road, and it can become a logjam with drivers just trying to slow down. That's around 6-7 drivers that just entered pit road, being led by Ethan Smith, John Forbes, Trenton Jump. And this is about to get very tricky because drivers are now on fresh tires, others on old, and we're about to see a big mix and mingle. If you've already come to pit road, you're hoping for this race to stay green, but here is the chaos. The drivers behind the 91, it's being led by Nick Crawford, and other drivers split in the middle, trying to send it. And Zach, you touched on the speed difference. Look at these drivers just blasting their way on by.
It is amazing to see, man. I tell you, I miss these days, the old days of fall off. They're just cutting through the field like it's a hot knife on butter, because literally, I mean, this is 2 to 3 seconds a lap faster with those fresh tires.
And everyone's trying to chase to run down Nick Crawford. Ollie Fonseca getting back out on track, but he's going to be behind all of these drivers. He no longer will have the clean air. With Ollie staying out those extra couple of laps, he might have led a few more laps, but the track position, throw it away for the 70, for that of the 24, who is going to have just that of a 2-lap advantage. We'll see how much it's going to work out as he's trying to run down Nick Crawford and the rest of the field.
You know, make this a little bit of a racy battle, but Fonseca through all this.
Oh no, drivers, contact, Cody Green, contact with the leader of that of Jesse Thornock, and the 25, massive damage for himself.
Oh man, Reed spun around, and Thornock right now, he is completely destroyed too, making his way slowly around the banking here down into 1. And for a playoff driver like Cody Reed, this is terrible to see for him.
Cody Reed into pit road, frustrated because he felt like he had a chance to try to point his way in, but he is going to call it a night. The 25 is done. His hope for a championship run next week is over, and we're down to just 7 drivers now trying to find their way into a championship.
And then there was one point after the pit stop that I had Ethan right behind me. Norris was right behind him. You know, Ethan was one of the people that my teammate was battling to get into the championship. You know, I wanted to hold him up, wanted to give him dirty air and, you know, block the line that I know he wanted to run. And then at one point, the whole time he was diving into 3. I guess I didn't know that line or that entry point, but I was purposely holding him up. I knew that line. I wasn't, stomping the brakes or anything, but I was trying to get easy into the corner. He never made an attempt to go low that I saw.
My race was going pretty good. I just ran a lot of practice laps, practice on long run speed, qualified pretty well. I had some speed. I wasn't worried about the race. I was having a good race. Nick Crawford brake checking in front of me, and then Norris eventually, because he can't pass me, dumped me for it.
Oh man. Boy. Ethan Smith is frustrated over the radio, not happy. And it looked like there might have been some air touching action that happened there. But in the cockpit, it felt like for Ethan Smith, he almost got dumped by Christopher Norris.
It was like a little weird pinball thing. Hit me, and then Norris was about to go low, and then clipped his left rear end. He got really upset. Ethan's the kind of guy that gets upset in the moment, and even after people tell him it was an accident, whether it's us or someone else, I don't think I'm really worried about it, but we'll see if he's willing to really even do anything. We'll see.
Not making the Final Four, it's kind of irritating for the second time being dumped to not make it. I don't know if that's the only way they keep me out of it or what, I don't know. I'm not going to be mad over a situation, I'm not mad about that one situation. I'm irritated about a whole season. I made very sure not to open my mouth a lot this season to allow any drama that may have spilled over from last season settle. But you know what? People like to open their fat mouth sometimes when it doesn't even involve them. Danny last week mentioned there's no reason why we should have any held grudges, especially if him and this other guy could be friends. What's funny is the hypocrite was also Trenton Jump, who agreed with him, but yet when something didn't involve him, he lashed out at me. And what else I find is that when I'm seeing people race in front of me, and there's a certain few of them out there, race people, and then when I get to them, they race me entirely different. I'm kind of tired of being treated the way I've been treated, and the chickens are coming home to roost is what's happening. If people want to around, they about to find out. Happens. And I'm tired of being bossed around, or I'm tired of being lashed out at and nothing happened about it. And you know what? I'm not asking anyone to do it for me. So, I am demanding some respect out there. And, if they don't want to, then that's just going to suck. So, it happens. And, yeah.
Every point got to be so massive if you're going to be running for a championship next week. As out of turn number 4, it's the 24 of Ollie Fonseca getting a stage win here at the Legacy Atlanta 150.
Ollie Fonseca, man, Whew, this guy could be looking to be maybe a favorite heading into Charlotte next week, especially with his performance here so far at Atlanta. This 24, he is peaking at the exact right time, and this time he's peaking while he's in the playoffs. This is what you want to see from that 24 team.
But up front, it is Ollie Fonseca, Trent Jump, Christopher Norris, Nick Crawford, John Forbes into the restart zone, and we're green once again for the Legacy Atlanta 150.
Personally feel like that 110 marker might be the perfect point here, about another 5 laps. And I think Trent Jump, though, in second, he has nothing to lose in the 46 machine. He's coming to pit road this next time by, so a little bit of another early pit stop here for him. Leader coming down, and it's going to leave Mark Whitley out front to lead himself a lap as he's got Freed right behind him, but still going to be to no avail. The points aren't going to matter for this 77. He's going to need a victory, but you can see here, look at Irizarry, Christopher Norris. This is critical for the 38. He needs to get through this quickly, and he's right in the mix as they're almost wrecking.
So when pit stops came again for the second half of the race, this time I really just didn't want to struggle and I wanted to be in control. So I pit really late compared to others. I wasn't winning the race or anything. I just wanted to make sure that I could pit late enough to still be faster than the guys that were at the back half of the top 10.
30 laps to go here in Atlanta as John Forbes trying to go for the dive bomb move. He'll be clear, moving up just slightly, trying to block his teammate, and Zach Forbes now ahead and where he needs to be.
That's what he needs. He needs to see clear track ahead of him because he needs to drive away from Christopher Norris. He needs to hold on to that because if Christopher Norris finishes right behind him, to my calculations, they should be tied unless John Forbes has had some type of incident that has hurt him in this race. Then I would see Christopher Norris at some point being 1 point ahead if he finishes behind. So it could come down to that third and final position in the top 3 of who gets it done. And the problem for them also is here comes Ollie Fonseca. He's flying up through.
Christopher Norris, storylines galore. At some points, we've covered this 38 here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting for the last couple of years. And when he first was on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, he was known as a hazard, a driver that almost you could count on to bring out 1 to 2 yellows. And now, fighting with a driver that they had, Vickers, earlier on the race, this could be an opportunity to race for a championship. Ethan Smith trying to block to the inside. It's going to be the 38 machine. And now, side by side on the apron, trying to hold on. They're going to be drifting up, and Norris taking the position.
What a pass, and that's how you got to get it done. The driver that wants to hold you up the most, you got to get it done in one corner, and he does it, Sam. That is so critical for him because now he needs to focus forward. He has to drive down that 11 if he wants to make sure he can maximize his points and make sure he moves on into the final 4.
The drivers that entered this race as your top 4 to race for the championship next week look to not be the same 4. I think 3 of the 4 might be the same. Ethan Smith in trouble as he has fallen now to 6th place, and the 2 drivers that are battling to take his spot in 3rd and 4th position. The battle for the lead could be over. The battle for 3rd, though, of who can take that final 4 spot still on the line. Christopher Norris is almost within a half a second with 5 laps to go. Every little bit. Recognizing, Zach, you've already thrown it out. They are technically tied on points if the right bonus points are given to the 11 machine. If Christopher Norris just makes this pass, he is in a spot to run for a championship next week. If he doesn't make the pass, the 11's running for a championship unless we see a yellow. And here we go. They're right on top of one another. The outside lane seems to be the positioning, but continues every spot that he chooses. He's picking wrong on where John Forbes is going. And across the line, it is your Larry Art Productions white flag for Trent Jump. But Christopher Norris bounces it to the outside. He's got 1 lap, 1 chance to run for a championship.
This is his best opportunity down into 1 and 2, Sam. He's going to have the best positioning here off the exit of the corner, but Forbes is going to slide up into him and wreck him.
He's going to put him right in the outside wall. They're going to be still staying side by side. There's a wreck right in front of them, though, when they enter turn 4. Driver going to be stacked right in front of them. Can't see on screen. John Forbes going to be making the pass. It's Mark Whitley who caused the accident. Out of turn number 4, Trent Jump will win a back-to-back win. John Forbes, Christopher Norris, boom, spin, he wrecks him. Norris takes the win for himself for that 3rd place. Christopher Norris is running for a championship.
That right there is all on the line, folks. That was great hard racing between those two. Forbes messes up, gets into him, almost spins him. Norris gives him the bumper off of 4. That's all fair game to me there, folks. And that was grade A finish to Atlanta and what you need to see.
It was a really long, grueling race for me, but we made it. That's nice.
Charlotte, next week, I mean, what are your spirits like going into that race next week?
I mean, not bad for a road meter, right? No, yeah, I'm excited. I think I got the same chance that I've had the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm pumped. This is completely unexpected. I didn't run a lap all week. Just was like coming in tonight, not caring, just racing the crap out of everybody. You know, not trying to get any wrecks, not hit anybody, and it paid off, I guess.
Well, we got to talk you at the stage. You won the stage. You come away second. That's some pretty good momentum. On top of that, you are running for a championship next week. Man, how are you feeling?
I'm elated, man. I cannot believe that I am in the Final Four. That is honestly a dream come true. I can't believe it. All the practice, all the work that went into this, all the people that have supported me to get me this far. It's unbelievable, and I just can't wait to contend and try to get another one for Larson Line here. Just can't thank Dakota and Danny enough for the opportunity to run for them.
Did you even see yourself with the chance to run for a championship with the way that it's come down to this race, and how are you feeling going into next week?
Honestly, I was just gonna settle for the top 8. I wanted to do what I can, put on a great show, and try to, just make my way up the field. I mean, the start of that race gave me a little bit of anxiety, thinking I possibly could not be able to do it. I mean, I just was right around 9th or 10th, but I think it's just a thing of bunning my stuff up too early. But for Charlotte, I'm glad we're heading to a 1.5 miles where I've shown to be a top 10 driver there in the past. So I'm really hoping that means I'll be a first place winner then next week.
As we go from 3rd place, we're going to go to our last driver that has made it to the Final Four. 10th place finisher, Nick Crawford. You've done it. You've made it to the Final Four after tonight's race, but it wasn't the finish you wanted. Nick, how are you feeling after a 10th place performance?
Oh, Sam, I am struggling so bad right now. That race was so long, and I'm not really feeling too great physically right now. Even before, I got Pedialyte right next to me, but to bring this champion Ford F-150 to the playoffs is great. I'm just glad it all worked out. That win really came in effect there with those 5 points.
Okay, yeah, these glasses gotta go. We made it to the Final Four. What can you take away from this season? Practice is important, but be willing to make uncomfortable adjustments is what I've learned. I used to race just the default steering ratio. That would just cause me to burn up my tires. I watched a video, shout out to DJE. I watched a video of his where he talked about, some people who have the smaller wheelbases, better to actually use a higher steering ratio than other people. Just making adjustments that I'm not used to, and then kind of focusing more on my race has been a big one for me too. It's been a great season for Snowy Desert. My teammate Christopher Norris has come a really long way, so I'm really proud of that. Thank you to all the Cat 5 guys that have been helping him a lot, and, thank you to him for being such a great teammate. I just want to say good luck to the Final Four, Ollie, Trenton, Norris. It's going to be it's a really fun Final Four. We all know hate each other, so I think that's cool, and I'm ready for this. It's probably as ready as I've ever been for a race, so we'll see. I'm excited for it. There's my dog. I think that's the 3rd time he's swapped in for it, but we'll see.
Well, we started the season off. We had 43 drivers at some point race this season. We cut it down to 16 for the playoffs. Then we carved it to 12 to 8, and now we have our Final Four that we're running for a championship. Next week, championship racing, Trent Jump, Nick Crawford, Ollie Fonseca, and Christopher Norris. Your Final Four that are racing for the championship next week. Can't wait to give you the coverage, but until then...
So last night was something.
Series, it is the championship race. 43 drivers, 17 races, and we are down to our Final Four racing for the championship for Season 4. The goal for tonight's race for those final 4 drivers is to be the person to finish ahead of the other 4. But Zach, it might have to be a win if you're going to take the championship here tonight.
It very well may take that win, Sam, and I think it will personally. I think those 4 drivers, they prepared the most. I know, talking like you said to Nick Crawford and Christopher Norris throughout the week, they have put in tons of laps. They have been really prepping for this race.
How did I prepare for Charlotte? A lot. We did a lot of practice. Me, Norris, Ollie, Danny was even in there. Even you, Sam Dyer, were in there too. We did a ton of practice for Charlotte. It's the most I've ever practiced for a race. Even for an endurance race, I haven't practiced that much. It was just running qualifying laps and then running long runs or stage runs, what they were calling them. Once we got the qualifying, you just had to sit there for a second and on pit road, and it's like, okay, we gotta be near the front at least top 5, just to be somewhere close, to let that long run speed help. So we went to qualify. First lap is a waste lap just to get up to speed, get the tires kind of warm. And then the second lap comes around and I'm like, okay, this feels all right. And down the back stretch, I was like, come on. You just gotta hit turn 3, 4 right and don't get loose. And I come off the corner and first place, the pole. I was like, is this gonna hold?
Final 4 contender right in the mix, and Nick Crawford goes to the top of the board.
74 trying to show his mark here tonight. These drivers have been here in the past, and Nick Crawford, he got the pole last time they were here last season, and he's wanting to go for the pole and lead the most laps like he did, but he missed out on the win. 74 wants a little bit of extra. Trent jumps second time. Gonna be better, but not best enough to take that pole away from Nick Crawford. Here at Charlotte for the ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, and top of the board, it's Nick Crawford taking the pole here at Charlotte. Trenton jump in second, Ethan Smith third, fourth goes to that of Joshua Altus. Ollie Fonseca starting back in 5th position, John Forbes in 6th, Cody Reed 7th, 8th is Eric Stamp, Danny Cochran 9th, Christopher Norris finishing out your top 10.
Then the race. Again, the nerves are there. You just hope that everybody races you clean, but races you hard. That's all I expected.
It's the championship race. It's the Freaky Fast finale here at Charlotte. Pace car is off, and let's get racing for the ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series Season 4. It's coming to a finale, and here we go. It's Trent Jump, Nick Crawford sending us down into turn number 1. Danger zone, middle of the field, hoping to stay on course. Lap number 1, give it to Nick Crawford.
I just wanted to lead a lap because, if I qualify on the pole, I want to at least lead a lap. But then after that, the strategy shifted to following behind Trenton.
But it looks like Trenton Jump finally able to clear here, heading down into 3. And now Fonseca going to take a late dive there to the inside of Nick Crawford.
And Nick Crawford up front, but that of Christopher Norris still trapped in 11th place. He has not been able to move forward in the 38 machine.
He's definitely closed up to that group ahead of him, but Nick Crawford early pit stop here. I like the undercut here. We'll see how it works out.
We got to lap 29 and I just pulled off with no warning at all, just on the pit road to undercut him. I figured Trenton was going to pit early because he's been pitting early lately, but when he didn't pit for another 2 laps, I was like, okay, this is it. Sealed up the stage at least. I was able to usually pull away a little bit and then save enough tire to be able to defend on the long run.
Pit road, it looks like Ethan Smith, he's taking the long route here and going to go longer than anybody as he continues to stay out, along with him and Logan Brakey, Joshua Freed, Mark Morales, Jesse Thornuck, Matt Elbrook, and Zachary Pearson. So our top 7 stay out.
And then we were passing Trenton coming out of pit road. You just see him just spin around on the apron. And I was like, oh no, I hope that's not a caution. But then it was.
The 2, that's going to hurt him, but caution's
caution!
out.
Oh, and looking to see who brought it out, and it is Trenton.
Oh man, he spun coming off the exit of pit road here, Sam.
Luckily, we were a lap down, but we were the lucky dog. So that's the only thing that helped us. And then everybody else that was a lap down had just pit, and they were going to be the wave arounds. I think there were only 8 cars on the lead lap at that point, so I was going to line up like 9th or something.
We're back to Green Flag Racing here tonight at Charlotte as Ollie Fonseca, Ethan Smith get roaring and heading down into turn number 1.
So after the restart, I did have older tires by I think it was 3 or 4 laps. At that point, I was just thinking to myself, get as many spots as I could, but kind of just hold ground. We got the stage caution coming.
That he is, in a good-looking 24 machine there down the back straightaway. He's definitely loving how this has played out. Was running third before it all shook up. Now he's going to come back and win stage 1 and have the perfect spot for ending out this final 90 laps of the race as he hits the line a little bit and gives Ethan Smith a chance there.
Your stage break for the last race of the season, and it's Ollie Fonseca taking the stage win. And other drivers is Trenton Jump back in 7th, Nick Crawford in 5th. But this big story, Christopher Norris trapped back in 12th place. Ollie, it's Sam and Zach up at the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, you win the stage. Had a little bit of a scare there with green flag pit stops in the time of the yellow, but you find yourself up front. How are you feeling so far after these first 60 laps?
Pretty good, man. It's good to be up here in this thing. It's right where I want to be. So, good spot. Just hope we can finish this thing out. Maybe try to work on saving that right front a little bit more. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I got clean air, and we'll see if we can maintain this.
Let's get in the pace car. The rest of the drivers, we're ready to get back to green flag racing. It's the Freaky Fast finale.
After the stage, I came out, I think, 5th behind Martin. And in my head, the whole restart, I was like, come on, Martin, get the best restart of your life. And he did get a really good restart. I knew it was important to gain spots quickly with the fresh tires.
And right now he's even got Trenton Jump looking to his inside. He's going to throw a block down the back straightaway. These two are going to be super aggressive. They know what's on the line here. They need to go forward.
They are moving forward, trying to get by the teammate of Logan. Breaky just goes completely high and wide to let his teammate drive. And now it's going to be Martin Morales and others. But drivers are getting caught up in a wreck. Big, massive contact in the middle of the field as drivers could not make it through the exit of turn 4. And drivers have blown engines. And the big one strikes here early on.
I think we got a quick restart with like a 1 or 2 lap run, and I think I gained 1 spot. I was in 4th on the outside behind Ethan. That's a story. But on that restart, I got a really good jump, was able to pull down into 3rd, and then going down the backstretch on the same lap, I knew he was gonna block, and I knew our tires were a few laps older, and I think after like 3, 4, 5 laps, it's better to be on the outside to make a pass. So I faked low and went high into 3, and I was able to pass him. I was worried about getting door slammed because I know he had said some things before the race about what he's willing to do. I was able to get by him with no contact and be behind Ollie.
But the 74 did a great job to get to the outside, and I think he's going to have the position here heading down to 3. He's going to cut down in front, and Fonseca, they're going to throw a little block, and now the 74 to the inside.
The aggression that we have never seen from Nick Crawford before. Usually he's passive, lets the race just come to him. Instead says, I'm going to take this race for myself. And the 74 with the nose ahead leads that lap. And behind them, Trenton Jump almost junked it last lap out of the exit of turn 2. Now run on the back bumper of Ethan Smith for 3rd.
He is loving this. Trenton Jump is in position here. He wants to get up ahead, and look at Ethan Smith. He is not letting that 46 by, and I tell you what, you better watch out because he might get sent up into the 74.
And Ollie Fonseca able to clear for the lead, but everything in his mirror does not look safe.
Ollie, man, he was backing up the corners like crazy. And it was to a point where I got run over by Ethan because I'm literally in his trunk and Ethan's right behind me, and Ethan's not going to lift at this point. So I think in 3 and 4 we got together and I was sideways and I was like, okay. I think I came over the radio and I was like, Ollie, man, you can't be backing up the corners like that. That's crazy.
It's not close enough. Is it stacking up there? They're almost wrecking.
Oh boy, Logan Breaky now gonna have to go on the apron. Trenton Jump almost goes to the apron, and somehow they all hold on. And it's Trenton Jump, the better one for himself, as drivers deeper in the field really starting to lose ground for themselves. It's Christopher Norris that had a major scare for the 38 machine on top of what our leaders did. But a battle for second still heavily underway.
It was really intense for a few, like close to, I think 10 laps. And then finally it kind of strung out a little bit. And then the same strategy came in. We were gonna pit like halfway through this run. We could make it on fuel, so it was like a 42 lap run or something like that.
Hoping that the way that he saved these tires is enough, and he's by the 00.
What a good pass there by the 38. Didn't get held up too much there, as now this 00 going to look for a position on the back straightaway with the run he had. And now he's going to block in the 38 there. You'll have to see what does the 00 do. He bumps him and almost wrecks him there.
Tap, hold on, another incredible save. Norris had to deal with great one at the end of last week's race to get him into the final 4. An incredible save there. That could have been the championship ending bump that the 00 gives to Christopher Norris.
I was thinking of pitting It was either 109 or 110. And then Danny comes over the radio and says, Ollie's pitting. I guess he was communicating for him. So then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm pitting then. And then I think I got the best pit entry I could ever get at Charlotte and got right up to his bumper. I was pushing him down pit road. He was going 44 and a half, so that's his fault. Just kidding.
I mean, Nick Crawford is pushing the 24 on pit road. This is what it's going to be about, though. Can you get into your box nice and clean?
Sliding into their box, Ollie Fonseca once again, he perfectly hits his mark. Other drivers, forward tires and fuel. We keep our camera on the exit because this could be the winning moment. We saw last season it was about who got out of pit road the cleanest. It was Danny Cochran making the pass on pit road, and Ollie Fonseca keeps the lead, and Nick Crawford keeps that at the 46 behind him. Christopher Norris going to be fourth in line, and the championship 4 all out of their box, all getting back out on track. And this is your time for the duel. 40 laps to go. And let's see what these first 5 laps are looking like on these tires.
He got a great pit stop. I got a good pit stop. Trenton got a good pit stop. Norris was there too. And I thought it was crazy because the whole Final 4 pit on the same exact lap. We're all in the top 4. It was great. It's kind of similar to the beginning of the stage where it's chaos. It's me, Trenton, and Ollie going hard at it. It was for a good amount of time too. Then at one point, Trenton gets to my outside and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let these guys go and race. It's the most aggressive blocker against the most aggressive passer. What is it? The immovable object against an unstoppable force. So I figured something might happen. So they were putting on some really good racing. I always have this issue where I try to watch instead of race. So I had to refocus and let them do that for a few laps. And I think on the straightaway there was one point when they door banged and it gave Ollie some left side damage, Trenton some right side. I think he already had some right rear. And I was like, okay, I guess it's my turn now. So then I go and make the pass on Trenton and then I noticed that Ollie is slow on the straights compared to me. So I go on the inside and at that point it's an easy pass. Unfortunately for Ollie, with the damage and the tires burnt up, it was easy for me to get by. And at that point it was just hoping there wasn't a caution. No cautions to get them near me at all, because I don't think my short run speed was on it, but I could definitely do it on the long run for once.
And look at Christopher Norris. He has ran all of them down. He's right here. Our Final 4, you couldn't ask for a better race here. They're all on top of each other.
And now for Norris, he has been one of the fastest. When we look at the data throughout all the practices, the long run is where the 38 has been thriving, which has been a complete opposite of his whole entire ISRC career, Zach. This 38 might have found them. Oh no! Taps that as Trent jump, almost wrecking the 46. Throw it all the way. Norris is spinning. Gotta keep it down on the apron. And the 38, the 46, they're out of this now. As we've got less than 25 laps to go here tonight, it is looking like Nick Crawford is setting sail to get redemption after how last season's Final 4 race went down. 74 is just crossing his fingers that we don't get a late caution. Joined up still officially for this season with Snowy Desert Racing, but in the middle of the season, right before the Fuji race, teaming up, same with Christopher Norris, with Revline Racing, and they decided, hey, you take over the champions scheme and run this. He won at Fuji, and ever since he changed teams, officially working with Revline, Zach, Nick's been a completely different driver. He's been competing up front, has been a threat almost every single race, and like you said, a fitting sponsor for tonight's run. 3 laps to go.
Like I said, man, I've known this guy for so long. It's going on now for 7 years, almost 8, and his confidence has never been higher. And that's one thing I love to see from a close friend of mine like this. And if he's able to get this done, this is going to mean the world to this guy. And with just 2 laps to go here coming this time by, he just wants 1.5 more miles to get the white flag, because then he knows it's in his hands.
No cautions came out, and I was almost as excited to see the white flag as I was to see the checkered.
And the 74 through 3 and 4, confident, securing himself at a turn number 4. No other drivers are close to one another. No yellow flag expected. And at a turn number 4, it's your Larry Art Productions white flag thrown for Nick Crawford. Zach, just 1 more lap for a championship.
It's a lap of glory here, Sam. 2.5 seconds of a gap. Nick Crawford, no worries in his mind. He can take this full lap in and just enjoy it. Enjoy that he has done it. He's going to be the champion in one more corner just to get it done for this man.
Gunnar Moniz pulls over, let the 74 get the champagne ready. It was disappointment, it was depression last season, but this season, give him the championship scheme. Nick Crawford, season number 4 champion.
What a drive, man. I tell you, it makes me a little emotional that this guy gets it done. Like I said, I've known him for so long, and he's wanted one of these for so bad, and he gets it done here, man. Not a better way to do it.
And what a season it's been for that of Nick Crawford. 3 wins officially for this season. He now ties with the most top 5s with 11, solidifies the most top 10s with 14 this season. He was one of the best drivers if you looked at the stats of our Final 4, and Nick Crawford gets to burn it down here at Charlotte. Let's head to Victory Lane, get the champagne ready, because we are going to go talk to your ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series Season 4 champion. It's the 74 champions machine of Nick Crawford. Nick, how are you feeling after this one?
I don't know, Sam. I don't think it's set in yet, but it's really good right now, and I'm just glad it all worked out in the end, but it's going to be a good night.
What was it like winning the championship? I don't know. I have a hard time letting myself accept winnings, but I'm like, am I still in shock? I don't know. So, yeah. I don't know. And it's nice that had my teammate Norris in there with us in the Final 4. I think if he would have had a little bit of a better starting position, I think he would have been right up there. And, you know, if we didn't have certain people that were in the league, Ethan, talking about you, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure you are. Ethan, it's been a pleasure. All the way from Gateway last season to now, it's been the juiciest of stories. The most drama for this drama queen. And yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm not coming back for next season. I plan to, yeah. We got a whole little setup going here. We got some changes going on, so I look forward to it. I think I am. Yeah, pretty sure. Any final words to finish off the season? I just want to thank the entire league. You guys are awesome to race with. You know, we all have our moments in the season, ups and downs, but you guys make this league the way it is. You make it fun to race in, you make it exciting, the storylines, everything. That's the reason why I joined, that's the reason why I'm still here. So I thank all of you for that. I thank all the admins for their role and what they do. You guys do, I think, the perfect amount of boys have at it, let you do your thing, and then you know when to step in. So I think you guys do great with that. And then the broadcasters, I love that you guys know that all the drama that's going on, you know, all the storylines as well, and it makes it great to watch. It makes it more than just spectating a race. It's, you know, the stories. So, and then another, you know, shout out to my teammate Christopher Norris. You helped me through this season. You did so much. You grew yourself. It's so awesome to see. You know, you went from not knowing if you're gonna make it into the top 12 round to battling for the Final 4 the next season. That's a crazy adjustment. It's not even like it was a year or anything. It was a month after the previous season. It's awesome the amount of progress you've made, and you know, you only go up from here at this point from what I see.
Well, Nick, again, congratulations, and before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
As always, I have to shout out my beautiful wife. She's the most amazing thing in the world, amazing person. She's so supportive. Shout out to Cat 5 guy, Zach. He gave us a lot of information. You, Zach Hall, not some random other Zach. But and then shout out to Revline, shout out to Champion, and then of course shout out to the broadcast team, Robert, Sam, and Zach. You guys always put on a really good show. I love watching these after, and I think I'm going to be watching this one for a little bit. And finally, shout out to my family members that were watching. I know my sister was. Hi Alyssa, hi Shahid, hi everybody at home.
That is going to be your Season 4 champion, Nick Crawford in the 74 champion machine. Congratulations, and enjoy the offseason, man, with this one.
I'm tired. I'm just yeah, I'm drinking wine punch. What was I? I was saying, like, the blue one's the best one, honestly. The red one's good. I really like the pink one too, but the blue one's good. Is there any other questions? Okay. Anything else you want to say or share? There's one thing. I'll be right back. It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson among us. Bye-bye. Hopefully I don't die at Homestead.
And I gotta say, Sam, to you viewers out there, racing really isn't my thing anymore. So I'm putting away the cap, and I'm making use of my skills elsewhere in the galaxy. So that's it, folks. I'll see you later.